Oh, baby, please don't be like that. She meant nothing to me. I can change. I can change.
Mickey! Yeah, feel that beat. Feel that beat. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Let's dance.
Dance? I thought you'd never ask. I'd love to.
Hello, Keaton.
Hello, Dad.
What are we here to do tonight?
The Mickey Shorts and more.
That's right, it's time for another episode of the Mickey Shorts and More podcast. Now, earlier today, Keaton gave me a lecture on proper communication. So I've got to make sure that I follow his advice. He said that when I'm introducing the show this week, and this is what we're talking about as we're driving home today. He said, Dad, as you're introducing the show this week, what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that you say welcome. He said, if it's the first episode of the show, you can say welcome to the Mickey and Shorts and More podcast. However, because it's not the first episode, he told me I needed to say welcome what? Yes, he gave me the lecture. Dad, you need to start saying welcome back to the Mickey Shorts and More podcast because they've already listened once. That's assuming that you're not a new listener this week. So, Keaton, what should I say?
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah. You messed it up now, too. See? It's easy to say. What should we be saying instead?
Welcome back
Do the whole line.
to the Mickey Shorts and more.
All right. So we are here. We are ready to talk Mickey Mouse. We're ready to talk Mickey Shorts and all the latest news coming, especially from D23 last week, and answer the age-old question that people have been debating about for years. We are getting philosophical tonight. It's going to be interesting. But before we do that, let's cover some news, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. So last week, 1 week ago from right now, while we were out camping in the woods and completely away from the internet, the D23 convention was going on, giving us all sorts of news. Now, as we announced a little bit last week, because we heard it as we were getting in the car to leave, Disney did give us some updates, some quick updates on Mickey's Runaway Railway, which is coming to Florida next year. They gave us, a quick look at what the vehicles were going to look like that you ride in. They gave us, some additional photographs from inside the attraction. They gave us some more concept art. They showed us what the cast members were going to look like, what they're going to be dressed as. So all good information. I was really hoping for an opening date because I really can't wait to see what that thing holds and what it looks like. And we did hear that the attraction is coming to Disneyland, as we'd heard earlier in the year. And we got to see what the exterior was going to look like with the new theater that they're going to build there back in Mickey's Toontown. But we really didn't get any other information other than that. And for me, I was a little bit disappointed. I want more Mickey Mouse in the parks. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to throw out a challenge to all of our listeners. You'll hear me mentioning it now. You'll also see me do some posts on social media this next week. But here's what I would love to know. Keaton?
What?
It's your bedtime alarm.
Silly, so don't cut out that. Right?
Anyway, the question that I have for people, and we're not going to answer it directly this week. We're going to talk about this next week, okay? We want our listeners to weigh in on this. And that's the question of this. We want more Mickey Mouse in the parks. So if you could design an attraction, any attraction based on Mickey and Friends, what would that be? Where would that be? And what would that attraction include? So I know you've got ideas. You're piping up to tell me those ideas. But we're going to hold off until next week so we can see what the listeners have to say about this. Okay?
Okay.
So, budget is not a concern. Location is not a concern. So we just want to know, if you could build an attraction with Mickey and Minnie and Daisy and Donald and Goofy and Pluto, what would it include and where would it be? And again, budget, no concern. Don't worry about the budget. Don't worry about the technical details. I just want some good creative.
Also, in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, there's another one named Toodles.
And Toodles, maybe even Toodles, because Toodles is in some Mickey Mouse content. So yeah, just tell me what the ride is. Tell me where it's going to be, what the content's going to be, and just let your imagination run wild. So that way we can have our own D23 news since we didn't get much. I mean, we got some, but I wanted opening dates and I wanted to see what that attraction looked like because I am an impatient Mickey Mouse fan. All right. So, shall we talk some Mickey shorts?
Yeah.
Okay. So this week's episode, which one are we doing this week, Keaton?
Dog show.
Dog show. Now, this brings up an interesting age-old question. We're going to watch the short, and then we'll talk about this first. But let me ask you this. Keaton, I'm going to give you a quiz, okay?
What?
What kind of animal is Mickey Mouse?
A mouse.
Okay, good. What kind of animal is Minnie Mouse?
Mouse.
What kind of animal is Donald?
Duck.
Duck. Okay, what kind of animal is Daisy?
Duck.
Okay. What kind of animal is Pluto?
A dog.
A dog. Okay. And so then what kind of animal is Goofy?
A dog.
Wait. What? That cannot be right. Because Pluto is down on all fours and he's barking and I mean he's a dog. Goofy walks around on 2 feet and talks and interacts. So how can Goofy be a dog and Pluto also be a dog? He's got nothing. I have stumped you. Okay, we're going to find out. We're going to talk a little bit about this week because for the first time, I think, in his life, during the course of this episode, Mickey also starts asking that question. He's like, wait a minute. So this episode, like you said, is called Dog Show. Its original air date was October 11th, 2013. It's written and the story was done by a group of people: Derek Dressler, Clay Morrow, Paul Ruddish, Aaron Springer, and Dave Wasson. It was storyboarded by Dave Wasson. There were additional voices, as seems to be customary with these shows, by Dave Wasson. The director gets to do some of the auxiliary characters, and in this case, the director does the judge. However the heck he does that. I like the judge's voice. He's cool. And it was directed by Dave Wasson. Okay, so how about we headphone up?
Yes.
And watch some Mickey Mouse. All right, we're watching the YouTube version, so follow the link in the show notes so that you can see the YouTube version. Click on it. Make sure that's on your head. You good? There we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And Mickey Mouse in Dog Show. Mickey and Pluto are playing. Hey, Pluto's in these cartoons. Yay! Goofy comes up. Hey, what are you guys doing? Mickey's like, hey, we're training for this dog show. He's like, I want to help. Mickey's like, I don't know. He's going to throw a stick. Woohoo! Pluto jumps up and falls off a cliff! What? 19 seconds in, he falls off. Okay, so Pluto is now severely injured. He's in the cone of shame. And Goofy feels horrible for causing this harm to Pluto. Mickey's like so frustrated because he wanted to compete in this dog show. And he was going to give money to the orphans. And Pluto's itching. And Goofy's now itching as he tries to think of a solution. Mickey's looking at them oddly. Pluto's eating a bone. Goofy's eating a sandwich. Much the same way. Mickey's like, wait, what? Where's Goofy? Goofy's wiping his butt on the floor. Oh, that is disgusting. Oh, but an idea. So now we flash forward to the dog show. And Mickey's like, hey, I need to register my dog. And we've got Goofy now on all fours on a leash. Goofy's giving the thumbs up. He needs to sign in. Goofy runs up and, a la Goofy, signs in. Mickey's like, no. Haha. Dogs don't do that. Okay, to the competition. The first one is sitting. And Goofy sits like a regular human being on a chair. And Mickey's like, oh, great. They're going to discover that what's up. Judges are not happy. Next, roll over. Goofy's rolling, doing all sorts of somersaults. Judges are like, what kind of dog is this? Mickey's freaking out. Now beg. Goofy's going to beg. Please, baby, please. All the other dogs are acting like normal dogs. Mickey's freaking out. Judges, not happy. Oh, he's getting frustrated. They're not going to win the dog show if he doesn't cooperate. All right. Now, come on, Goofy. We got to pick up our game. Mickey's talking to Goofy. He's trying to motivate him to do better.
Listen, man.
Goofy's like, come on, man. I'm trying to hear. This is not my game. All right. So we're going to have this competition where we're jumping around things, traditional dog show. And Goofy has a piece of dynamite strapped to his back. Oh, boy. This is not going to go well. And he blows up. Goofy just blew up. Along with everybody else. The announcer, the competitors, the judges. Oh, Mickey's about to lose it. He is freaking out. That's not what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to do this. And Mickey is demonstrating exactly what Goofy should have done. He's jumping through the fiery hoops. He's bouncing on things. Everything's still on fire. He's doing this trapeze. I don't remember that from a dog show. And he's saying, see, that's what you're supposed to do. Goofy's like, oh. But the judge comes up and we think he's going to be angry. We think he's going to be like, you guys, get out of here. He's like, no, that's an amazing dog. He thinks Mickey Mouse is the dog. And now he's giving Goofy the trophy and the money. And he is the winner. Everything's magically back together. And so, of course, Mickey's got to act the part. And now he's licking Goofy. What was up with that? What? No, that was 2 weeks ago, man. We have moved on from Mickey without ears. Okay, so what do you think, buddy?
That's good.
Why do you like the episode of Dog Show?
Because Goofy tried to be a dog.
But now, wait a minute. We established at the beginning of this episode that Goofy is, in fact, a dog. Right? So why is it so funny, so weird to see Goofy acting like Pluto?
Because he was saying, "Oh, baby, please."
Yeah, now, were the judges really happy about this?
No.
No. He looked like he was constantly getting marked down. Goofy was not a good dog show contestant. Shocker. Right there. Now, here's one of the things that I like. I found this, well, I mean, I don't know if I like this or not. This is kind of sad. Have we seen Pluto yet in an episode?
Yes.
No, we have not. This is Pluto's very first episode in the Mickey Shorts series. This is the first time we've ever seen him. The very first time we've seen him in this design style that is the Paul Ruddish style. And in 19 seconds, he jumps off a cliff and severely injures himself. Pluto only makes it. He finally gets his chance to appear in a short, and he only lasts 19 seconds. Poor Pluto. This is the very beginning of very, how shall I say this? Mickey is not the best dog owner. We're going to see that over the course of this series, but Mickey does not care for Pluto very well. Poor Pluto. So I found an article on the website called screenplayas.com. Now, this was written a while back, February 20th, 2017, by Michael R. Gonzalez. You know, I got to give credit where credit's due because these are not my ideas. But the article is titled The Eternal Question, Why Can't Pluto Talk If He and Goofy Are Both Dogs? I'm going to read you a little bit of this here, and I'll throw a link to this in the show notes. You can check out the whole thing. He says, as we age, we can't help asking life's biggest questions. Why are we here? What's the meaning of life? How old is the universe? But most of all, why on earth can't Pluto talk if he and Goofy are both dogs? We don't have an answer for the first three questions, but we dug up some explanations for the Goofy-Pluto dilemma, or at least as close to an explanation as we've ever gotten. But first, a brief history. Pluto predates Goofy by 2 years, having been introduced in the 1930s short The Chain Gang. In it, Mickey was a convict who escaped prison during a riot, which the security officer opened fire upon the prisoners. Yeah, that's right, Mickey has been around the block. Pluto was a bloodhound used in tracking Mickey down. He later appeared as Minnie's pet Rover in the cartoon The Picnic, where they cheerfully showed off some questionable pet owner antics, as they always did. Goofy actually showed up in 1932 during Mickey's Review, where Pluto finally had a rightful place as Mickey's Pluto-named pet. Goofy was an audience member who chewed peanuts loudly and laughed in his usual goofyish ways, angering nearby spectators. It's unclear whether they expected Goofy, named Dippy Dog at the time, to take off the way he later did. But there's no way that laugh couldn't go down in history as one of the funniest laughs ever. Returning to the mystery at hand, the internet has supplied us with many fan theories, and amongst the most prevalent ideas is the disturbing notion that Goofy is a regular human-like character, along with Mickey and Donald, whereas Pluto is a mentally handicapped being that Mickey keeps on a leash, taking advantage of his disability. No. A more reasonable one is that this universe... I did make the sound. A more reasonable one is that this universe is populated by funny animals and animals. Funny animals is a term used for anthropomorphic animal who represents or stands in one place, or in the place of humans, whereas animals are, well, animals. We know that Pluto only walks and acts the way a normal dog would, chasing squirrels and barking madly. Goofy, on the other hand, we know that he displays some of the most human-like tendencies out of all the characters. At the end of the day, Disney executives may have created Goofy and Pluto separately and among many others without expecting them to ultimately become members of the Sensational Six. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, and Goofy. There were other characters who were prominently featured in the early days of Disney, like Horace Horsecollar and Clarabelle Cow, both of whom bear a similar resemblance to Goofy and are still around today. Neither have quite reached the same level of stardom as Goofy. Goofy and Pluto have unique qualities that endeared them each with the Disney fan base, and so Disney may simply have found itself with two different but equally beloved dogs within the Sensational Six. So, first they invented Pluto, then they invented Goofy, and things just happened, so now we have two dogs. One that can talk, and one that can't. Okay. A few other quick notes. Did you see the Pixar ball in this episode?
In the dog show arena.
Yeah, okay. So if you go back and look for it, it is there. Always fun seeing where that thing happens.
At the obstacle course.
It was in the obstacle course. Now, what's Goofy wearing when he's dressed as a dog? This makes it even more disturbing to me.
He's not wearing anything.
He's not. Okay, so all the rest of the time, Goofy wears clothes. And that's considered normal behavior in the world of Mickey Mouse. Suddenly, now, he's not wearing anything but a dog collar. Goofy, this time, is the naked one in this episode. Okay. So, anything else you'd like to say about Dog Show?
Oh, Goofy tries to be like a dog, but in the obstacle course, he just blows up a TNT.
He does blow up with TNT. He blows up everybody else with TNT. That was a good use of explosive, very reminiscent of the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, before it gets too late, you know what it's time for, Keaton?
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
So, Keaton, what's your joke for this week?
What did the banana say to the dog?
Ooh, what did the banana say to the dog?
Nothing. Bananas can't talk.
Oh, okay. That is true, but okay. Bananas can't talk. And it relates back to the dog episode. I like your choice of jokes.
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks everyone for listening and have a great day.
And while you're at it, remember to visit the website at www.mickeyshortsandmore.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, or you can subscribe through your podcast player of choice. Just search for Mickey Shorts and More, and you can find us on all of those services. If you'd like to connect with us, especially because we want those ideas for Mickey attractions in the park, Mickey Mouse and Sensational Six based attractions in the parks. Want to know what those would be and where would those would be, and do some little dreaming away of your own. So send those ideas to mickeyshortsandmore@gmail.com. If you'd rather talk to us, you can call our voicemail at 541-321-0472. And you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and once again, just search for Mickey Shorts and More, and you can find out Stop.
Boom, 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 boom.
No, I'll put the music in later. Okay. But check us out through all those ways. Just do a search for Mickey Shorts and more, and you will find us on the interwebs. Keaton, what do we got going next week? O Sole Mini.
Yeah.
Next week, O Sole Mini. So Minnie Mouse is back. So, in the meantime, everyone have a fantastic first week back to school. Most of the country's already been back to school since the middle of August, but keep those kids in school and have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Dun, 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 dun.